Let me start with something simple. This is the time of year when most people slow down. Work begins to wind down, schedules loosen, attention shifts toward holidays and next year. But here's the part most people miss. The system does not slow down. Money keeps moving, costs keep adjusting, and the foundation for next year is already being set. Quietly. If you use the next few weeks intentionally, you don't just feel more prepared, you create a head start. Not through hustle, not through extreme discipline, but through awareness. This channel exists to explain the parts of money most people never see. Not tips, not tricks, but the system underneath. And today, I want to walk you through 6 money shifts that quietly separate people who feel in control next year from people who feel reactive. These are not resolutions, they are structural resets. And once you understand them, the way you think about money changes. Let's start with the first one. Shift 1. Most people end the year with feelings, not clarity. Here's what almost everyone does at the end of the year. They feel how the year went financially. They remember stressful months, or moments of relief, or times when money felt tight, but they never actually see the full picture. The system runs on numbers. Most people run on memory and emotion, and memory is selective. It remembers pain. It remembers comfort, but it rarely tells the whole story. That's why the first shift is not about budgeting. It's about creating a year-end financial snapshot. Not to judge yourself, not to restrict yourself, but to see reality clearly. Think about it this way. You wouldn't improve your health by guessing how you ate this year. You would look at data, patterns, trends. Money works the same way. A simple snapshot answers 3 questions. How much money actually came in this year? How much money actually went out? And what was truly left over? Not what you think was left over. What was genuinely unused? And when you put everything on the table like this, something interesting happens. Patterns start to appear. Certain months cost more. Certain seasons trigger spending. Certain habits repeat quietly. These aren't random. They're signals. And the more clearly you can see them, the less power they have over you. This shift is about awareness, because you cannot change what you refuse to look at. Now let's move to shift 2. Shift 2. Surplus is not what most people think it is. This is where things get uncomfortable for some people, because here's a mistake almost everyone makes. They look at what's left at the end of the year and assume that means progress. But there's a problem. Most people separate saving from spending. They treat savings as something different. For monthly budgeting, that makes sense. But for a yearly reset, it hides something important. Money you already saved is not surplus. It's already assigned. True surplus is what's left after you've lived, spent, saved, and invested. That number tells a very different story. It shows untapped capacity, money that could have been working, but wasn't. And this is powerful, because it removes guesswork. If you see that you consistently had money left over without feeling deprived, you now know something important. You can increase progress without pain, not through restriction, through intention. And if you see a deficit, that's not failure. That's information. It tells you the system you were operating in didn't match reality, and information is always useful. Surplus shows potential, and potential is where leverage lives. Now let's talk about the third shift. Shift 3, the modern economy drains you through defaults. This rarely feels dramatic, but it costs people thousands. The modern economy doesn't drain you through big decisions. It drains you through quiet ones you stopped noticing. Subscriptions you forgot about, apps you used once, memberships that renew automatically. Individually, they feel small. Together, they create friction. And here's the system-level truth. Many businesses are designed to benefit from your inattention, not your consent, not your active choice. You're forgetting. That's why this shift isn't about cutting joy. It's about auditing friction, asking one simple question. Is this still serving me right now? If yes, keep it. If not, remove it. The same logic applies to bigger bills. Insurance, phone plans, utilities, rates creep upward because the system assumes you won't check. Most people don't. Not because they're careless, because life is busy. This shift is about reclaiming attention, because attention is expensive when you outsource it. Now let's move to shift 4. Shift 4, stability comes before optimization. This is where many people get stuck. They try to optimize before they stabilize. They chase returns, strategies, and growth before they build resilience. But the system punishes fragility, not morally, structurally. When you don't have buffers, every decision feels urgent. Every surprise feels expensive. And urgency leads to bad timing. Foundations matter. Emergency reserves are not boring. They are optionality. They give you time, choice, calm. But foundations need updating. If your life has changed, your buffers need to change too. Higher expenses, more responsibility, different risks. Once stability is in place, balance becomes possible. Cash gives safety, assets give growth. Too much cash erodes quietly. Too little liquidity forces bad decisions at the worst time. There's no perfect ratio, but there is awareness, and awareness allows intention instead of reaction. Now let's move to Shift 5. Shift 5. The system quietly rewards certain behaviors. Here's something most people never realize. There is money already allocated to reward specific behaviors. Not future returns, actual money, employer benefits, tax allowances, incentives. These exist because systems want people to behave in certain ways. Long-term participation, stability, consistency. When you don't use them, nothing dramatic happens. No alert, no warning. You just quietly leave value behind. This shift isn't about complexity, it's about alignment. Understanding what the system already rewards and positioning yourself to receive it. That doesn't require expertise. It requires attention. And attention is the common thread running through everything here. Now we arrive at the final shift. Shift 6. Direction matters more than precision. Most people say they want to be better with money. That's not a direction. That's a hope. The system responds to vectors, not wishes. Clear goals reduce decision fatigue. They don't trap you. They guide you. A goal doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be specific enough to give your money somewhere to go. Numbers remove ambiguity. They turn stress into planning, and plans are flexible. If income changes, the system adapts. If life changes, the system adapts. This isn't about control. It's about clarity. And clarity is calming. Everything we've talked about leads here, because understanding without execution fades. Willpower fails. Life gets busy. So the final layer is building a system that runs quietly in the background. Automation over intention. Saving before spending. Bills scheduled, not remembered. Buffers built gradually, not urgently. The goal is not to think about money all the time. The goal is to think about it once, clearly, and let the system do the rest. Reduce friction for good decisions. Increase friction for bad ones. Make progress the default. The next few weeks will pass whether you use them or not. Most people will arrive in the new year hoping things feel different. A few will arrive prepared, not because they worked harder, but because they understood the system they were operating in. These 6 shifts don't shout. They don't trend, but they quietly shape outcomes. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. This channel exists to make those systems visible, not to promise shortcuts, but to replace confusion with clarity. So your money supports your life instead of silently controlling it. This is the hidden system.